Hello, RC fans. More specifically, vintage Nitro fans. Racing 393. If you've watched the channel, you would have perhaps seen previous videos of me rebuilding and restoring a Mardave Marauder from around 1983 or 2, 4, can't remember. But we got so far. We rebuilt it. It went together really well. Most of the bits were there. I don't think there's much missing. And we attempted to start it. And upon reflection, looking back, it didn't look very promising. It had no compression. Well, it has no compression. We should say that. It just didn't want to go. So I was thinking to myself, it's going to have to be a shelf queen, or maybe I'll sell it on, or I'll try and find another engine, the Irvine 20. Bit like Rockinall's crap, as the saying goes. So upon some further investigation, I did, in this video, I don't know, did I don't know if I filmed it or not. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I've watched anything I've recorded. It's been a little, couple of days. No, where is it now? 28. So, yeah, about a week ago or so. A lot's happened in a week. I can't remember. So I did, for a spoiler alert, if it isn't on the upcoming video, I did try a repinch again. Or did I do it last time? Yeah, I did, but I was a bit worried about damaging anything. So this time I was a bit more forceful with the cylinder, the liner. I don't think it made a huge amount of difference, if I'm honest. But in this video, we give it another go to start this vintage Irvine 20 engine. That's the original engine for the Mardave Marauder. I did purchase another engine, but it wasn't the same as this Irvine engine. It was actually a 0.36 or something. Easier said than done. It probably would fit, but it wanted too much. There's too much to change to take things on or off, which I did try. I was stripping the engine down to try and sort of transfer it over, but nevertheless, that didn't work. So another spoiler alert. Maybe you don't need to see the video. Just listen to me for like 3 minutes and you're done. So yeah, anyway, that's enough at the moment before I give you any more ideas of what's happened. Watch the video if you can, please. If you like it, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know what you think. The reason I ask for subscribers is so that it just pushes my videos out there more. That's all. So other people can experience my experiences, good or bad. And let me know what you think. Any sort of vintage nitro monsters out there. What do you think of it? So sit back and enjoy. I don't know how long the video will be because I haven't edited it yet as a from recording this, but I hope you enjoy it. Hello and welcome to the shittest voiceover man. Oh my god, this is the second time. I've been rabbiting away. Anyway, two problems. One is I didn't turn the mic on in the shed, so I'm talking there, but you can't hear me. And also, I just recorded this once, but I didn't change the device to my headphones. Oh my god, why do I bother? Just delete everything. Sell it, delete it, walk away. Right, whilst I'm here, we're back on the Mardave channel. Not quite. And we're still on this Irvine 20, trying to get it to run. So, can't quite remember what I was talking about, but I did mention the weather because the heater was on, because it's super freaking cold. Not 3 weeks ago, we were like in 24 degrees inside the shed. But anyway, yeah, there's a few things to do to this engine. Within this part of the video, also, I show you what I purchased. I purchased a 0.36 Irvine. Irvine engines, if you don't know, are mainly for the aeroplanes and helicopters. And I bought a 0.36, which is actually, I believe it's a heli motor, a heli helicopter engine. It it should fit, but there are some big differences. You can see here that it looks pretty much the same. Different sort of cooling head on the top, and the actual cylinder itself is a lot smaller. It's a very big, the piston's huge in this, but it's got a very short stroke, so maybe it wouldn't work. Upon this video, and what I try to find out is, in fact, the crank in this one here that you see isn't long enough, but it does have an extended crank end, if you like, whatever it's called, on the current .20 Irvine, which makes so it sticks out further. As I'm pointing out there, probably that so the pinion can mesh. It would fit. It does screw on, so it could be used. But there's things like the clutch, like there. You can see that's not a collet. That is part of the crank. So you want a particular flywheel backplate, whatever they're called, I can't remember, to go on this. I found a flywheel that would fit, but it didn't quite work out. I think that was a dog yawning then, yeah. So yeah, I'm rabbiting on here, but I can't quite remember what I was talking about. But we do take it apart and we give it a go, all to no avail. My spoiler alerts basically forfeit you having to watch the whole video, but I hope you do enjoy it. But we'll move on now to the next scene, which does have a little bit of sound.
Sorry about that, I didn't put the mic on before. Anyway, I was rabbiting on about these. As you've probably heard now, I'll voice over that. Okay, so we've got the engine out, and this is the engine that may not fit. It does look exactly the same as in the spec. Everything's at the right height. The only difference is the carb. As I said, it's got a different carb, and this one's got that carb. I'm hoping the carbs will fit. There's no reason why they shouldn't. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is remove the carb on here. It's got a slightly different way of fixing. I've got a feeling it's completely different inside as well. It's like a, I don't know, I think it's different shape. I don't know, I'm sort of jumping ahead of myself. It looks very oily, if I'm honest. Like I said, it smells like diff oil on a road car. Sort of bit like smell-o-vision. So that's that out. So effectively this carb should come off now. Maybe not. Maybe not. There's definitely got a different shaped piston in there. It's not going to work, is it? It's not going to work. What I need. Right, let me try and get this carb off without destroying it. got it out, sort of marked it up a little bit, but there's not much I could do about that. Yeah, it just looks very oily. Maybe they use that to preserve the engine in there, but I don't know. Okay. Not sure that's going to fit though. Let's see. Let's get this. Let's take this one off. No. So there's the first problem. So that there's bigger than the car one. Okay, so that won't work. Mardave. I think the sound might have gone a bit iffy on the last recording when I was trying to start it. So I can't remember now. So if you've heard voiceover, you know it's gone tits up. Now it almost started, almost being the operative word. I've got some bits and pieces here. Don't know if it'll make any difference. I've got a bit here that certainly won't make a difference, but I'm going to show you what I've got. It's an original clutch bell for this engine, including the roller bearing. Not that I need that, because this one's alright. There's a new one with the cork. It is not. I thought it was asbestos. It's actually cork inside, but that's okay. That's what's on the car is actually pretty good. I've got another one of these, an M5 nickel. That's an M5 on there, but I don't know whether I've stripped it. Trying to do it. This is stainless steel, I think, so it's not going to bite into that. I need to thread this, so I've got a new one of these just in case I've knackered that one. Hopefully I won't need that. This engine's leaking, I think, from the back plate, which is plastic. So I've got an original back plate gasket and a shim. I won't be needing the shim, I don't think. The one on the car, on the engine's okay. So we're going to put that gasket on. And here, it's a sort of tap and die set. But I've got an M5 one. So I want to tap this so that screws on tightly. take the engine out anyway, change the gasket, and see if it helps start it. I think it might be leaking. It's obviously a lot of fuel coming out. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this off again, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. You must remember to put this throttle linkage back on before I actually bolt the engine back in. It is like super awkward. And the idea is, if I can get this to run, I'm still dubious about it being too low a compression. Yeah, I don't know, but minimal amount of spend at the moment. It's more labour intensive. We'll take the motor out. I'll do this, put the gasket on, show you that I've done that, then put it back in. So I was thinking of doing like a time lapse, but it doesn't seem to work on my software. It just makes it look shit. I don't know what's going on with it. I've noticed that when you do pull it over, or you put it on the start box, it should draw fuel up. I don't know why. I'm not sure why it's not doing that. But this isn't the original fuel tank. This is just one off of an RC10 GT, I think. So it does pressurise. I think the reason it's not pulling fuel up is because it's got low compression, I think. But anyway, I'm going to take this apart again, and I'll be back once I put the. I'm going to try and put a thread in this first. We'll see if that works. So step one, that's gone in now. I never know quite how tight to it. It's tight. It's not loose, so I don't want to stretch it and strip it. So that's there. That's good. This is what I used here. So this is the M5 standard, I think, metric. And that goes on there like that, and you just sort of, it's a handy bit of kit. Yeah, so I think the next thing to do now is the gasket. So I'll just stick that on now. Well, interestingly enough, it did have a gasket on it. I didn't even see it last time. It's not damaged. It looks alright. So I won't need to use the new one. In fact, didn't need to buy it, but never mind, it is a genuine Irvine S20 gasket and shim, so we'll keep that. Yeah, look, it's absolutely mint. So I think I'll put some sealer around it, and this isn't cracked either, so it's just a plastic back plate. I'll put some silicone sealer on it, not much, and then I'll just put it all back together, and hopefully that should do it with a bit of luck. Right, it's amazing what you find out when you look at it properly. Ready to go back in, so I've sealed it, wiped it down. It's there, isn't it now? I mean, it has got a bit of compression. So it does actually resist, which is interesting. Now, the carb, on the other hand, I think it might be leaking on that brass bit there. You can't move it, and I don't want to snap it off. So we've definitely got a seal there now. Got to bear in mind, initially this nitro didn't have a breathe. Not what's that called? Pressure nipple, I think it's called. So that it sort of pressurizes with the air going out. It pressurizes here and pulls the air out of the tank, doesn't it? So it should actually draw more fuel. Don't know, but anyway, let's put it back in. We'll see if it's made a difference. Right, well, I think, well, it runs, but it won't keep running. I don't think it's pulling fuel through. It's not leaking now, so I don't know whether it's that down there or the fuel tank. I mean, that's loose. Well, there's the main problem. The carb's loose. Right, I'm done. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, things falling off everything, everywhere. Where's that gone now? There's a pin missing now. I'll have to find that. Right, I'm going to do turn that off. That's on the kind of chassis. Right, well, it works. It's also not leaking. 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 91. Yeah, that's hot. And I've got these gloves on. Right, I'm going to tidy up. I'm going to do a closing indoors. Well, it looks like we've got it working. Perseverance, even with that fuel tank. There's no leaks. I don't think it pulls the fuel up very well, but anyway, let me tidy up and I'll be back.
Righty ho, what do you think? So, it does run. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know. there is issues. So it seems that things weren't done up properly. I must take more time in checking the smaller details out. So, for example, the back plate or the plastic back plate of the engine this time, I don't think it was tight enough. It had a gasket on there which I never realised. I don't know if I did or didn't. I can't remember. So I bought another gasket. Didn't need it. So with a bit of silicon sealer and torqued them up how they should be with my little torque wrench that I've got as well. So you don't want to split the plastic. That seemed to work. The carburetor's very crudely put on. It's not a particularly very great design, but a couple of screws either side of the carburetor barrel, if you like, the sort of the bit that goes in the block, that'd come loose. I don't know if it was loose or it just come loose. So we did them up. The fuel tank isn't the fuel tank for the Mardave. I think that is off a team associated RC10 GT, but it does the same thing. I'm not saying it's perfect. Maybe because of the low compression, it struggles drawing the fuel up. The carb settings I messed around with. The main jet, which is the top one, coming in or out made quite a big difference. But more importantly, the one that goes in near the carb, the needle jet, I think that's called, isn't it? That's important. I don't know how far out I've got it. Normally it should be flush with the body, the carb bit there that comes there, but I don't know if it is or not. I redid the nipple, so I've done that up now, so it's sealed on the exhaust. Now the original Mardave, I think the Mark One, didn't have that. Not sure if the Mark Two did, but maybe it did. So that aided the pulling the fuel up through the engine by pressurization. I don't know. So you have to really choke that carb, and it seems, if I'm honest with you, it runs on the fuel that's already within the engine. I don't know if it's enough to draw the fuel through. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to relook at perhaps. I mean, it isn't leaking now, so I might have to relook at the carb. Might have to put some plumber's tape around it or something, just to say it's a very slightly tighter fit, and then those screws would have something to bite into and hold it there. That's what I think I might do. That will keep the carb where it needs to be. And I'll mess around with the carb settings next time I run it, which will be in another video, because this one will go on for too long otherwise. If I can get it to respond by moving the carburetor, what is that? It's not a butterfly. That's what it is basically. I think it did in the video there. It did respond slightly. So what I mean is you can open the carb and it will rev, and you close the carb and it will kind of idle, if you like. But I didn't have his silencer. I didn't have my tubes on it, so I couldn't run it for long. And the tubes on the exhaust outlet there was right in my face, so I was breathing in pure nitro, and it was a even now I'm going. So yeah, what do you think? There's still things to do before I sort of buy anything else. I have bought stuff and I haven't needed it. So the gasket I didn't need. The head shim, it's original, but I won't need that. Another M5 nipple. That one was on there, which I thought I stripped. That one's okay. I have actually. I might have found an original fuel tank. I don't know yet. I'm not sure if that will work because it hasn't got the secondary nipple in. So I might be able to do that myself. Just put another M5 nipple in somewhere so it seals and have that so it pressurizes. Because the original, I read about a lot about the Marauders, and the original ones without the pressurized hose that goes to the exhaust were a bastard to start. I'm not quite sure how they were done. You sit there turning it over forever to prime the fuel, and it weren't happening 'cause it's old school. I don't know how they got round it. I mean, just stick your hand over the carb or your thumb and draws the fuel up, and then you start it. Is that how you do it? I mean, it's pretty how you can start most nitros, I'm honest. Everything was rattling to pieces, so I've got to find a way of holding things in, like the pins on the suspension. They weren't staying in. The carb will definitely come loose, as I said, so I'm going to have to figure that out with the plumber's tape. I think that's about it. I think that might conclude this video. So, thumbs up, thumbs down. I think, I mean, I would, wouldn't I? It's definitely a thumbs up because we've got it running. Now I've got to be able to keep it idling manually before I spend any more money on it, i.e., getting servos for it. So I need a couple of servos, receiver, that kind of stuff, battery pack. Yawn. I won't edit that out because I can't be bothered. So, what do you think? I'm pretty chuffed. Something actually worked. My engineering brain doesn't always click in, but sometimes it does. And I buy things I don't need, but when you build them properly, they work. So anyway, that's the end of the video. It's a bit of a gap between this video and the last time you saw the Marauder. But yeah, I'm well chuffed. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said a minute ago, if you've got any ideas or statements or anything like that, feedback, let me know specifically about this. But enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the not too distant future with hopefully some more bits and pieces for the Mardave where I can get it actually bench tuned, i.e., manually using the carburettor, and get it so it runs, and then I can start getting the other bits for it to get it to properly work. So I look forward to that. I hope you enjoyed it again. See you soon, and bye for now.